But I'm starting my presentation with a slide related to education, as we are all in the field of education with an intention to prepare citizens of the country, because the quality of any nation and its people depends on the prevailing education system. Just a powerful means of transforming the communities and the societies. As such, every country, irrespective of their economic status, try to provide as high quality education as possible to its citizens, to make them self-sustaining, make them competent, and make them to acquire the required abilities to be independent in their life. Therefore, without wasting your time in the beginning, I would like to take you further so as to make you involved in understanding the significance of soft skills through education. I'm sure here there could be teachers from arts, science, commerce, education, law, and other allied faculties. The ultimate aim of all these courses is not only to impart knowledge that would make them graduates in their respective domain, but also to equip them with the requisite skills, requisite competence to make them capable of facing the challenges of life. Keeping that in mind, I would like to take you to the slide that I am presented here. At the first instance, we need to understand, as we are all working in the field of education in different capacities, what for education is. Education is concerned with building human character and capabilities. Okay, I think we can continue with this. Building human character and capabilities that enables the realization of and the civilization. See here, the word civilization comes from the way of living, the way in which people are living, their styles, their fashion, their culture, and mode of getting the food, shelter, clothing defines their civilization. And we are all said to be or claim to be the highly civilized societies with so much of developments in both science and technology. With this, the purpose of education today is to prominent things, two prominent things. One is the character, other one is capability. Capability, you will be knowing competence that is required to do something that gets the person this livelihood. On the livelihood, everybody need to develop capabilities. That capability comes out of three most important things, which you can understand as a component of education. They are knowledge, skill, and the attitude. The knowledge, skill, and the attitude determines the capability in doing anything. Needless to elaborate, what is knowledge? And knowledge is the power, knowledge is the ability of an individual to describe, to understand, to predict about anything around him. At the same time, skill is the capacity of that individual to make use of the knowledge he has. That skill and the knowledge will become effective only when they are supported by another element called attitude. Attitude is the apathic mental state of affair of an individual that determines his favorable or unfavorable approach to something in question. Say, for instance, an individual's approach to life, an individual's opinion about technology, an individual's opinion about other people, an individual's opinion about money, life, etc., is all the results of the attitude that the individual may develop. Your attitude towards teaching, your attitude towards books, your attitude towards students influences the performance. Therefore, capability is made up of three things: knowledge, skill, and the attitude. In addition to that, we also speak about the objective of education is to build character. Character is something that is connected with an individual's holistic personality, total personality. Personality development is the ultimate objective of education, whether you teach science, arts, commerce, or anything. And every discipline ultimately ends with humanism. Every discipline ultimately ends with the well-being of the man on the earth. In that context, education is equal to and capability. The objective of education is to provide an induction into a balanced, inclusive, and comprehensive worldview. Comprehensive worldview that will serve a cause, including but beyond personal self. It is to say precisely that the objective of education is not only to contribute for the personal growth or the personal development of an individual, but it is beyond that. It is to make an individual to develop an holistic world's view comprehensively to understand what is it happening around me, what is my role, what I can do, what is expected of me, what justifies my existence. Such a thinking must be inculcated through education. Hope you got the message, whatever I said so far. If yes, I will take you to life. Precisely, what are the expected outcomes of education? What we expect from education? I and you are basically teachers. The greater significance in the society, whatever that happens to an individual, more particularly, people make comment about the person who taught them. It is not the parents first get the blame for the misdeeds that an individual do. It is the teachers, because teachers are said to be one of the most powerful pillars of the society. That's why I said the quality of the teacher determines the quality of the community. What do we expect from this teaching and learning? The expected outcomes of
ಒಂದು ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಬಿಡ್ತಿದಾರ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನು ಆ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್
ಮೇಡಮ್
ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಏನು? ವಾಟ್ ಡು ವಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೀಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್? The most important thing is, at the first instance, integrated social and academic maturity. But the person who becomes a graduate, the person who undergoes education, to develop a sort of academic maturity. Academic maturity means ability to use the knowledge that he is studying in the classes. Second one is, it is to instill curiosity and original thinking. Education must make people to become curious, must develop a sense of inquisitiveness, a sense of critical thinking, a sense of learning, searching for something new. That curiosity must be there, eagerness to understand new things must be there, which will in turn lead to originality in thinking. The originality in thinking comes out of your ability to understand the things around you, your ability to interpret the things around you, that makes you to become creative in your approach in solving any problem or arriving at any conclusions. Another important thing that education expects from, or we expect from education rather, sorry, what we expect from education is that it must make people to develop a sense of lifelong learning through planning and prioritization. Needless to elaborate, process. Learning can happen throughout the life. Here, an individual must realize what he knows today is not everything. And the things that he knows will keep on changing. Education is the most powerful, and it also get to transform, it also get altered every now and then, because no knowledge will remain the same forever. Whatever you know today will become redundant, outdated, useless shortly, because every day new things are invented, new knowledge is added. That's the reason nobody can claim that I know everything. Whatever I am telling is what I know as of now. The next minute, whatever I said may become outdated. Then people may laugh at me. You are telling something irrelevant. The relevance of it, information, the relevance of the knowledge depends on its usability. When it becomes useless, we think history. It is historical facts. Therefore, believe me, whatever you think that as the latest today, that will become outdated tomorrow and historical day after tomorrow. Therefore, we cannot claim that I am a genius, I am the most learned person, I know everything. These are all unscientific, these are all unacceptable statements. Therefore, that's the reason many a time we say we are all working in the field of knowledge. Knowledge is the most frequent content. Working with knowledge is something like riding a bicycle. I'm using the word riding a bicycle because the speciality of bicycle is such that it can go further and further as long as you pedal it. If you don't pedal, it will stop. Unlike an automobile, two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, a bicycle will not move without pedaling. But some people say, where there is a down, it will flow on its own. But believe me, it can go only in the down, but the fact is that at the end of every down, there will be an up. When there is an up, you cannot go as easily as you reach the down. Therefore, keep changing yourself, equip yourself, sharpen the saw. The saw must be sharpened, then only you can become a usable weapon. Otherwise, education and knowledge will become outdated. But one must understand what to learn when to learn what. Prioritize. Without learning the alphabets, you cannot make sentences. You cannot write sentences. What is essential today, that must be learned first. It's not required. What can be learned easily must be postponed. That is what the meaning of developing flexibility and creating creativity in problem solving. Lifelong learning and lifelong learning through planning and prioritization I was explaining. Followed by that, developing flexibility and creativity in problem solving. This is another important thing. Life is not mathematics, and life is not the same everywhere. We need to learn the principles of adaptability. Don't confuse with compromising, but it is the timely sense of reaction. It is the timely reaction to the problem. In what best way you can respond to that. When a lion is chasing you, the most intelligent thing is to escape from it. Thereafter, you can plan for doing anything with that. When there is a crisis, the intelligent approach is to overcome the crisis and then to plan for future. Therefore, developing flexibility and creativity in problem solving is the expected outcome of education. Followed by that, developing interpersonal skills to develop, maintain, and value relationships. I'm emphasizing on the relationship issues now. The most expected outcome of education is to develop interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills means your ability to understand people around you and communicate to them, talk to them, understand them, maintain and develop and maintain good relationship with them. Good relationship with them. You may be knowing the most difficult thing on the earth to manage is human relations. Are the most toughest things to maintain because at no point of time you can predict what is happening in the mind of an individual. The individual's mind is the most complicated laboratory. Nobody can predict the result of the chemical reaction that happens in the human mind, but it is inevitable. I and you are social animals, in other words. We need to be with the people. We need to live with the people. We need to get our things done with the people only. Whether anybody likes it or not, we have to maintain good relations with the people around us. If the relations with the people around us are strained, then we cannot be happy. To be happy, the environment must be happy. To make the environment happy, we must develop internally a stuff connected with happiness. Happiness. People who are happy can only make others happy. To make others happy, first you need to know what makes you happy. This concept of understanding what makes you happy, what makes others happy, and how to communicate to people, how to question people, how to give feedback to people, how to interact with people, how to start a conversation with the people. These are all concerned with interpersonal skills. The objective of education is to develop interpersonal skills. There will be graduates of 3-4 different faculties, but if they are not good in interpersonal skills, that will be reflected in the way in which they talk to people, their ability to communicate, their expressions, their body language, their involvement in problem solving, the way they react to situations, how do they respect or give regards to others. They will be knowing. If anybody respects others, indirectly he himself is respecting it. Signal of educated behavior. To make people to respond in that way, we need to do proper training. It is not enough. He is good in solving the problems. He is good in mixing the chemicals. He is good in getting marks. In addition to that, we should also demonstrate certain qualities that makes him to be a true graduate. That is what our education policy calls graduate attributes. Graduate attributes. What are these graduate attributes? A science graduate must demonstrate a minimum characteristics of a science graduate. He must be scientific in his thinking. He must be scientific in his approach. He must be practical in his way of solving problem. At the same time, an arts graduate must have some fascination towards arts, culture, literature, issues like that. And a commerce graduate must have minimum common sense about economics, the banking, commercial issues, money, its value, industry, things like that. Then only we justify that he is a graduate of that category. Excuse me, am I reaching? Can you follow me? Any of you, at least talking about interpersonal skills. Another thing is to practice continuous improvement and high resilience. The expectation of education is to practice continuous improvement. I've already mentioned Nothing remains stagnant in this world. Everything will keep changing. When the things change, we must be confident to accept it and work with that. That can happen only when we are open in our approach for accepting the realities, learning the new things. Don't hesitate to accept that you don't know something. In my opinion, the most intelligent person is one who knows what he don't know. If you realize what you don't know, don't celebrate that. Try to learn it. Try to acquire it. When you acquire the new things, you will become a paragon to the situation. For that purpose, I suggest education must make people to develop a sense of continuous improvement, keep on changing, adapt yourself to the realities, develop high resilience. Resilience is the spirit to fight back with the changes, with the spirit to sustain the pressure, force, etc. The last one is the expected outcome of education. Develop effective communication. Communication is the most powerful means with which any problem can be solved. In democracy, remember, in democracy, for every problem, there is a solution through two elements, namely two Ds. One is discussion, other one is data. The quality of the data that you have and your capacity to argue, counter-argue, discuss with others can solve any problem in democracy. Therefore, communication is the most expected outcome of any education. Given this background about education, I can pose a question to you. I ask a question. How do you describe your present day students? One or two sentences. What's your answer? How do you describe your present day students in one or two sentences? I am posing to break the monotony, to make you people also speak. I am giving it as a question. One or two of you can respond to this question. Describe your students in one or two sentences. Don't look at the slide that I am presenting. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
They are skill oriented.
Yes.
Sir, they are skill oriented.
If anybody cannot understand Kannada, don't mistake me. You can respond to me. The question is, how do you describe your present day students? They are skill
Sir,
oriented.
they are skill oriented.
Okay.
Yes.
Accept that. ಮಾತಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ನೀವೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ? ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದೆರಡು ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಣನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಲ್ಲಿರಿ? ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ.
They are marks oriented.
Talent
marks oriented.
ಒಬ್ರು ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ? ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಅವರು
marks oriented students.
Oh, students are marks oriented ಅಂತ.
Yes.
Sir, multi-talented.
Okay. They are multi-talented.
Overall
They will
development.
not accept what others say.
They are not?
They will not accept what others say. They will not accept simply what others say.
They think they are right.
Yes.
They think they are right.
No, sir, not like that, sir. There is exposure for a media and internet and all there, no? So what others say, they will not accept unless they undergone for a testing or a proof.
No, that
Without
is
proof,
not-
they will not accept anything.
They are aware. They won't believe everything.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's great. That's great. Anything more? They will not accept all and sundry. Whatever others say, they will not believe. They know that. Okay. Keeping all this in mind, I have made an half a dozen points to describe the present day students. The first and the most significant thing, as I noted, present day students are very serious, very well informed. When I say very well informed, there is with a I am telling, the present day student think what they know as information is the knowledge. Basically, information is not knowledge. They have access to all sorts of communication sources. Information is at their fingertips. It is the information, not the knowledge. But the present day students think that they know everything. But basically, their interpersonal skills are less developed. What is interpersonal skill? Interpersonal skill is the ability to develop and maintain human relations, respecting others, understanding the pain and the pleasure of others before they explain, ability to read the minds of others, like reading a book without explaining by them. Present day students, if you are hungry, you must ask for food. If you are thirsty, you must ask. They themselves will not think that for the last 1 or 2 days, you are here without food. You have not asked, that's why I'm not. They are not assigned to me, that's why I did not do that. If you don't look at them, they will never look at you. If you don't care for them, they will not care for you. Unless you wave at them, they don't bother. I am of the opinion, I don't know whether you agree or not, I am of the opinion, they are very serious in life, but they have taken the life as it is. They don't care for the emotions of others. Their emotions are everything. That is the reason today we could see n number of atrocities, n number of exploitations, n number of suicides, depression, disgusted youngsters. I'm not against youngsters, but this is a bad trend that is spreading everywhere. We, the teachers, need to understand why it is happening like this, why our people have become like this. It is our responsibility, because whatever that happens, ultimately we will get the blame. People will blame us. Their interpersonal skills are less developed, not observed. Second thing is, their computer skills are excellent. When compared to their teachers, the earlier generation people, their computer skills are very strong. They are skeptical and desensitized. This is what I said earlier. Desensitized means they don't bother. If it hurts you, they don't bother. They think whatever I felt, I explained it. Whatever I thought, that I expressed it. They are not bothered what are the implications of this on others. If somebody falls, they will laugh at it. If there is an accident, they go for making a video out of that. Very few people, and many people will become self-centered. They don't bother why it's not to me. They don't bother with the thinking that it doesn't relate it to me, things like that. Further, as somebody said already, they are good in multitasking. They enjoy multiple stimuli. Multitasking means at a time they can do 2-3 things. You can recall. In the class, they pretend as if they are listening to your lecture. But now they are not doing that. If you find a student in the class whose both the arms are busy and on his palm, you can understand that he must be texting something, working with his mobile, but they simply nod their head. Multitasking, they are good in multitasking. They can do more than one job at a time. New online class, as if pretending as if you are listening to a lecture, doing something, talking to somebody. This is ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು. ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಕೇಳಿ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, present day youngsters are good in multitasking. They feel comfortable in challenging others. They feel comfortable in challenging others. What do you know? You don't know anything. You are outdated. You are unfit. You are misfit. Such a comments are very common these days. Followed by that, they have high expectations of themselves and others. They expect too much from everybody. Expect from parents, expectations from teachers, expectations about colleagues, friends, marriage, life, job. Their expectations are too high. As a result, they get frustrated. They get disappointed. Followed by that, whatever you say, they don't accept it. They go for negotiation. They are good in negotiation. They are good in negotiation. If not good in negotiation, they try to negotiate for everything. Don't do that. Don't do this. Give me a little. Things like that. Am I clear to this level? If I am science, let it be in technology, agriculture, life, everything. But in the broader context, keeping in mind the changes in technology and changes in our way of thinking, we have been talking about industrial revolution, and presently we are witnessing the industrial revolution 4.0. This industrial revolution 4.0 is based on the digital technology. Digital technology has occupied every part and facet of our life. Life has become digitized. Life has become E. That could be the reason these talk in terms of e-marketing, e-business, e-computing, e-banking, etc., etc. As a result, we cannot say that back there was nothing like artificial intelligence, robotic technology, Internet of Things like that. But today, without these, we can be considered as illiterates. Life has become so complicated, and in everything there is the application of computer and computer technology. As a result, the earlier saying that learn at school and do at work has become outdated. It is no longer sustainable. We have to learn, keep learning all the time. That learning could be in terms of upskilling, reskilling, and lifelong learning. That will be the future way of life. We have to learn. Every day you have to take stock, what I don't know and how to equip myself. This is the challenge posed by Industrial Revolution 4.0. With this, preparing the youngsters need to think differently. It is already clear that for a new disease, old medicine is not a solution. It was evident during this COVID. Not expected that type of disease, and all the stock of medicines we had become useless. Then we started going for research and innovation, and luckily the world came out with immediate solution through our scientists and experiments. Same is the case with life. Whatever we are giving in the form of education, with the degree certificate, master graduate, somebody is a doctoral degree holder, somebody is a graduate in science, arts, commerce, etc. That itself is not enough unless he is capable of applying what he has learned. If at all he has learned something during his student days, if he had learned something, that something must be used. That's the reason people say the knowledge that is not assuring livelihood for people, the knowledge that makes a person confident of solving a problem is meaningless. The knowledge that does not make a person to rise to the occasion. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. rise to the occasion is not at all. If that knowledge does not make him to rise to the occasion, it cannot be called education at all. Therefore, education is for transformation. What is education? ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದವರು ಮಾಡೋರು, MA ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಇರ್ತೀರಿ. Education is what? Education is to channelize the thinking ability of an individual to address the worldly affairs, the universal problems. Is an act of unmasking the person. To make the person to understand what he or she is doing, we must educate the person in the right spirit and the right way. That can happen only when we, the teachers, go beyond the textual, academic content. We must also set examples for them how to be a responsible citizen, how to be a responsible individual, how to be an educated person in the community or the society. That calls for a totally different type of contents in our pedagogy. That pedagogy must include something related to learning, knowledge, experience, ability, skills, competency, and training. You are all under a training program today. Training is inevitable because in a civilized society, two things have no exception. One is the tax, other one is the training. Tax is compulsory because there will be a government of one or the other form. Without tax, government cannot run. On the same line, the industry that I and you have chosen is knowledge industry or knowledge business, where things will get redundancy now and then. To be effective, to be competent, to fit into the situation, we need to train ourselves. Without training, we will become redundant, outdated. That is the spirit of saying education for transformation. Next, the topic given to me is about soft skills. I told you education in knowledge, skill, and attitude. Attitude is concerned with personality development. Knowledge is concerned with studying the theories and the concepts, and the skill is application of the knowledge gained in the classrooms for solving a problem, for getting something, achieving a purpose, things like that. Let me precisely make an attempt to tell you what is skill, what are skills. Skill is the ability to use one's own knowledge effectively and readily to do something. It is the dexterity to execute the learned physical task, psychomotor activities like driving, swimming, typing, reading, writing. Skill is a learned power to do something effectively. This is what skill. Skill ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಕಲ್ತದ್ದನ್ನ ಬಳಸುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಚಾಕಚಕ್ಯತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಜುವುದು ಒಂದು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ. ಈಜುವುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. If you give a lecture on swimming, all the theories of swimming, unless they know how to use their hands and the legs when they are in the water, the knowledge becomes useless. Same is the case with the driving. Whatever the amount of lecture given on driving, unless you take on your own and drive the vehicle, the knowledge that you have is meaningless. Even education for that matter, philosophies for that matter, there is no greatness in knowing the things. Whatever that you know must be applied. Whatever you know that must be used for solving a problem or for doing something. That is what skill. Hence, I can call it a power to do something effectively. It is a learned power to do something effectively. Skill can also be defined as the ability to carry out a task with predetermined results within a given time and energy. It is the capacity to do something. Skill is the capacity to do something. There are different types of skills. Slowly, I am taking you towards the topic. There are different types of skills. The skills can be classified like this: motor skills, technical skills, interpersonal skills, social skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills, organizational and leadership skills. I am sure during this 1 week or 10 days training program, most of the lectures are going to be on the topics related to this. Directly or indirectly, people are going to present before you topics related to these different skills. A list of 10 most expected skills as demonstrated by World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum in the year 2020 that are essential in the year 2025. 4 years back, said these are the skills, but believe me, even the list has become redundant. We have to search for new alternatives. What are they? What are the skills that are essential today? The most essential skills today are, at the first instance, analytical thinking and innovation. Needless to elaborate, what is analytical thinking and innovation? Active learning and learning strategies. Active learning, not passive learning. Passive learning means just listening and remembering. Today, we don't expect our students just to remember, mug up and reproduce. Must be active listeners, active learners. Complex problem solving. Life is full of problems. An educated person must be competent to solve these problems. Then only he will be deserved to be called educated, graduate, something like that. Critical thinking and analysis. Problems are everywhere. Already ready-made suggestion solutions will also be there. An educated person must think critically. Only when he thinks critically, he can understand the situation better and he can think alternative solutions and come out with appropriate answers to the questions. Followed by that, creativity, originality, and initiative. That can happen only when the individual is capable of think creatively, originally, without imitation, without copying anybody. If he is capable for something new, something original, that something original will come only when you think differently. Thinking differently, originally, makes the people to be the leaders. That leading is initiative. Person must take leadership role in the society, in the community. The progress of a community depends on the leaders that we have. Leaders are like the engines of the train. In a train, there can be bogies and the engine. The speed of the engine determines the speed of the bogies. Bogies cannot run. It is the leader who has to make them to run. The problems of many countries are not because of the people, it is because of the leaders. Therefore, education must result in the creation of good quality leaders who can make social influence. Social influence means ability to change the society.
And this was the most sought after college, not only for women students.
ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳಿ. ಯಾರಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ?
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು.
ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಡಿಸಿ ಇರೋರು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ HRDC ಅವರು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಎ ಟೀಚರ್ ಗಿವ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಟೀಚರ್. ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಂಗೆ, ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡ. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಏನನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯಾರಿಗೋ
They want certificate. They want
ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಇದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕನ್ನಡದವ್ರೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್, ಮೈ ಅಪೀಲ್ ಟು ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್,
ನಾಲ್ಕೈದು ಜನ ಜಾರ್ಖಂಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. People from other state should not think bad. See, leadership and social influence. ನಾವ್ ಎಂತ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಈಗ ಯಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟಿವಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನನ್ನ ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೋತಾರೆ? ಮೇಸ್ಟ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ತರ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮಗ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕಲಿಯೋದು. Students will also learn the same thing. Society, anybody can commit a mistake, but not the teachers. Teachers cannot afford to be indisciplined. As students will not listen to your words, they will imitate your behavior. Punctual agidre, if you are punctual, if you are honest, if you are sincere, your students will also be the same. Also learn the same thing. What type of students that I and you are going to prepare? If you are really preparing committed citizens, responsible citizens, you need to be the first model for them. Yakendre students will imitate what the teachers do, directly or indirectly. They will not explain. You should be the role model. Therefore, my point is to say that education must make people to become leaders and social influence. If you are not interested and if you think I am wrong, you can question me. Ask any type of question. I am open for interaction. If I don't know something, I will accept and allow you to teach me. That should be the beauty of learning and teaching. Okay. Followed by this, use of technology, monitoring and controlling technology is another expected skill. Technology design and programming is one more skill that is expected. Followed by that, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. Be flexible. Understand the reason for stress and cope up with the stressful situations. Reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. These are the 10 skills listed by the World Economic Forum, and keeping that in mind these days in our academic programs, we are also trying to inculcate these qualities among the graduates by making it either a mandatory course or an inbuilt system in the academics. I'm supposed to talk to you about soft skills. I said about skills. Skills are the power, learning the power to solve the problems. There are two types of skills. One is the hard skill, other one is the soft skill. What are hard skills? Hard skills are the quantifiable skills related to any specific task, knowledge-based, seen through certification, proficiency, technical expertise like driving, swimming, reading, writing. It is hard skill. how to ride a horse, how to ride a bike, how to swim, how to read, how to write. These skills are based on the certificates that you are going to get. But there is another set of skills called the soft skills. Soft skills are the personal attributes of an individual that makes the person confident. Soft skills makes the person confident and competent to do a given task effectively. Soft skills characterizes how a person interacts with his or her relationships with others. Simply, soft skills are also called people skills, or the life skills for life. As we put a jacket when we swim, as we put gloves to hands when we have to touch something risky, dangerous, in life, the life skills are the soft skills only. They are called the people skill. Why they are called people skill? They are the skills required to develop, maintain relationship with the people. If you are developing good relationship with people, the problem on the earth can be solved. For every problem, better relationship is the solution. Better relationship between the input and the output. Better relationship with the people around you. Better relation with the different chemicals that you are using. Different proportion of the chemicals that you are using. If they are given in a proper relationship, there will not be problem at all. That's the reason we call soft skills as life skills or the people related skills. What are the soft skills and people related skills? To make it precise, I have listed a couple of most important soft skills here. The soft skills includes ambition, multitasking, competency, positive attitude, assertiveness, better understanding, leadership, core values, confidence, innovation, motivation, and behavioral related soft skills. About all these issues, there can be soft skills. Soft skills could be there. What are the most prominent soft skills that we need to develop as teachers and that we need to develop among our students? Particularly personal skills. I made a mention already about interpersonal skill, and I am going to talk to you about that same in one of my next classes. Interpersonal skills are concerned with your communication skill, your question, your conflict resolving ability, your ability to understand the people around you, your ability to understand the sentiments of others. That is body language, your facial expression, your pronunciation, the language accuracy. All these things comes under interpersonal skill. And along with that, public speaking. Public speaking is another important skill wherein you have to address people of different strata, different. You'll be knowing our politicians without any training can public more effectively than any professor, but it has not come on its own. It is the practice. They did it repeatedly. Approach to speak in front of people made them good speakers in the open space also. But we must learn to speak in public, how to impress the public when it is necessary, when it is required. Followed by that, leadership. Leadership is a skill. There are different types of leaders. But believe me, leadership is not a designation. Leadership is not a designation. It is an attitude. It's a character. It's a character that an individual demonstrates when he is in the group. It's an attitude that an individual applies. Therefore, our students, first ourselves, more than saying ourselves as teachers, we are all academic leaders. Inside the classroom, all our students will be looking at us as our followers. We have the benefit, advantage of getting the designation. We are designated leaders. We are designated leaders. Believe me, nobody will get an opportunity every day to talk to these number of youngsters. When we stand in front of them, we must do our job with full responsibility as a leader. Leader is one who sets the direction. Leader is one who sets an example. Leader is one who guides the people towards a destination which they never had been either to. Such a character is essential in the leaders. All our present students must become future leaders of their life, if not anybody. To lead their life comfortably, they must be capable of managing their own problem, understanding their own capacities, things like that. Another important issue that is required is an important soft skill that is needed to be taught is conflict management. Conflicts are everywhere. Conflicts are everywhere. World is full of conflicts. Conflicts means difference of opinion, disputes, wars. Unfortunately, present day is filled with a number of news related to war between different countries. Every country is in the fear of a war by one or the other enemy. Same is the case in life. Life is full of contradictions. How to resolve these contradicting situations? How to get out of this problem? Many a time, because of their inability to solve this problem, people will become restless, frustrated, tensed. The most common character of human beings today is we are all busy, we have no time, we believe in speed, we don't care for anybody because our problems are bigger than that of others. We don't respect anybody because we think we are great. As a result, misunderstanding. Everybody thinks like that. As a result, conflict, quarrels. Number of unsettled cases in the courts. Number of applications for divorce. Number of complaints made by aged parents against their children. Number of cases filed by children against their parents. Conflict between the students and the teachers, employees and the employers. These are all not healthy signs. But unfortunately, that is the reality. We must prepare the young minds to understand these problems and to come out with amicable, meaningful solutions for the present day problems. That can happen only through soft skills. You may be a great scientist. You may be a great doctor. What is the use? The heart is not filled with love and affection to the patients and the scholar. Inside the class, what is the use if you don't love your students to share the knowledge? What soft skills? You may be a great laboratory. What is the use if you don't have the concern to teach it to others? Demonstrate, present, explain. What is the use? These are all the skill-based things that need to be taught. So that conflicts are everywhere. Conflict management is a soft skills. Followed by that, decision making. Many a time, we are all what we are because of the decisions that we made. decision making our life, whatever we does or don't do is because of the decisions. Today's decisions are very expensive, are life taking, are life giving. The wrong decisions that we make will spoil the life of many. As a result, we must be good in taking right type of decision. How to make an effective decision at the time of crisis is a soft skill. How to make a rational decision without emotions when it is required. How to fill emotion into a rational content when people and their love is expected. Common sense. Whatever I'm talking to you is full of common sense only. But believe me, common sense is the most uncommon thing. Many people don't have that common sense. How to make people to have common sense? That's the spirit. If everybody is with little or the required amount of common sense, there will not be problem at all. There will not be problem. This, we are all experiencing n number of cheating cases, frauds, cyber crimes. The most learned people lodging a complaint that I lost my money on a cyber crime. Why? It is your greed that made you to lose. What did you believe when somebody says you will double the money? How did you believe that somebody said there is a money waiting for you which is not yours? How did you believe that somebody will get you a job for which you are not qualified? All the things that are responsible for the frauds, crimes, confusions around the world, we must teach people to be practical. That practicality will come only through proper education. So that decision making makes the people and their life what they are. Time management. This is another important thing. Time is the most precious thing. There is a popular saying, time and tide wait for none. For everybody, there is only 24 hours in a day. Everybody will live till their death only. Before we die, we must do something. Before the day is over, we must do something. That is what the beauty of time management. I'm not going to elaborate anything. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I'm sure you are going to have special talks on these topics. Stress management. We are all stressed. 70% of the people, one way or the other, psychologically tensed, psychologically stressed. What are the reasons? Stress. How to remove stress from life? Is it possible to remove 100%? Or how to live with that? How to live with that? That is the issue to be discussed and taught with the people. Yes. Stress management itself has become a very popular subject these days. Everybody will go for stress management classes, stress management sessions, but come with little more added stress than living it. How to manage stress? For all this, the best solution is to have proper communication. Proper and effective solve any problem. All types of problems can be solved through appropriate communication. 60% of the misunderstanding in the world are because of improper communication. If it is properly communicated, people will understand, people will respond positively. Along with this, today it is inevitable. Ultimately, education must make our children, the students, to get jobs. The type of jobs that they are getting are more high-tech today. Every employer expects people who are willing to work with them to come with a set of expected characters, which are called employability skills. What could get jobs for our people. Again, I have listed the same thing in a different form. Presently, it is not the marks that they secure that get a job. It is not the number of degrees that can get their job. What makes them to get a job is their communication and interpersonal skills, their problem solving skills, self-motivation, friends, ability to work under pressure and deadline, organizational skills, team spirit, ability to learn and adapt to situation, numeracy, familiarity with numbers and number game, working with diversity, working with a different type of people, and then negotiation skills. I'm sure in the days to come, you are all going to be exposed to these different types of topics for interaction. As this is just an introductory session, I took the opportunity to familiarize you with what is soft skills, why it is required, and what are the most prominent soft skills that need to be developed both in ourselves as teachers and in the students that we are going to prepare them to make them capable and responsible citizens and the members of the society. For that purpose only, I touched upon all the issues here and there. As I promised you, if there are any questions, feel free. Take the liberty to comment, criticize me. If you are not happy, charge me with your questions. I'll try to take it in the right spirit